Perk's going to join us, Stephen A. So SGA scored 34 and Chet Holmgren had 23 points and 15 rebounds to help the Oklahoma City Thunder clinch a playoff berth by beating the Boston Celtics 118-112 on Wednesday night. In a much-anticipated potential NBA Finals preview, the Western Conference leading Thunder withstood a barrage of Boston threes to win for their 17th time in their last 18 games. The Thunder won both meetings against the Celtics this season, averaging 111.5 points per game in those wins. These two teams won't meet again in the regular season, so the next time we could see this matchup would be in the NBA Finals. I promise you, Big Perk, he will be here momentarily. There he is. Oh,
there he is.
Perk, look at you with the navy and the yellow. Perk, way to be on trend. Yellow's the color of the season.
I'm actually disappointed, Molly. I'm actually disappointed.
He looks amazing. Why?
Well, he does.
His wife's
but
picked that out. Like, he's obviously at home.
The yellow mock neck, it looks really, really good and stuff like that. But, you know, that's similar to what he wore on NBA Countdown, because, you know, that's my partner in crime on there. We're going to see each other again this weekend. I'm just saying, you know, you got to change it up. He's making enough money. I mean, he's a big enough name. I mean, he could change it up. I mean, he could change it up.
Not all of us are in your tax bracket, okay? Just let's settle down.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, I've seen his wardrobe, Molly. I've seen his wardrobe. I'm just saying, he got it. Trust me. Trust me. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Big Perk, hi. You want to dive in? You want to say anything? Or are you ready to just talk hoops?
Yeah, he know better. He knows better.
Molly, I'm not about to indulge in it this morning. Not this morning.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Perk,
not
this is an A and B conversation.
Not with the
you and
fashion
me.
police.
All right, peanut gallery, pipe down for a moment. All right, no, Perk. In all seriousness, though, do you feel like it's time to start favoring OKC to win it all after what they did to Boston last night?
Favoring over who?
To win it all, to win the title.
Absolutely not. Hey, look, hold on. Let me say this to you, Molly.
Yeah.
Did they make a statement last night to the non-believers that they belong? Absolutely. Do I have them picked to come out of the Western Conference? Yeah, I do. But I don't have them beating the Boston Celtics. I have to remind people, although it was a great game last night, although Chet Holmgren rose to the occasion, SGA, he set the tone and dominated the game. To me, he was the best player on the floor. I got that. But the Boston Celtics were missing a key piece, Kristaps Porzingis. He is so crucial to their offense. He provides balance, right? We're talking about one of the best post-up guys in the NBA. When the Celtics threes are not falling and guys are able to switch the pick and roll, Kristaps Porzingis is the one that take advantage of it. You know, you look at last night, Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein both had it their way. I think defensively, you bring a 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis back, it's a difference maker. You know, he provides a lot more, get guys easier shots, you know, and provides that balance. I'm not ready to go there yet. I still got the Boston Celtics winning this year's championship, so I'm gonna stay right there with that.
I agree with Perk, but only because I question the youth of OKC on such a stage. That's it. From a talent perspective, from a coaching perspective, from a star perspective, meaning who's leading them, Jason Tatum compared to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you can definitely look at OKC and say they're going to be in the mix here. Boston didn't have Kristaps Porzingis. OKC didn't have Jalen Williams. Jaylen Brown for the Boston Celtics, we know how bona fide that brother was, but he didn't really show up last night. A relatively pedestrian performance, 5 of 15 shooting from the field, just 10 points. We expect more from him, and obviously we didn't get that last night, okay? You look at Chet Holmgren, he showed up 23 and 15. That brother's letting you know he's going to have something to say about it, but Perk is right. Would those numbers have been that way? Would he have been as formidable if he had the 7'3" Porzingis to deal with? These are the kind of questions that we have to ask about OKC. But the reason why I say it's just the youth and that's all, it's because of the other guys. What we can say right now, Molly, at least this.
Yeah.
I was on Gil's Arena the other day arguing with these brothers about who the MVP is.
We saw that entrance. Don't you worry. No one can miss it.
Well, I didn't ask for the entrance. That was all Gilbert Arenas' idea.
Coming to America, I witnessed in real life.
I must say, I got to give Gilbert Arenas love and credit because that was totally his idea, and I might say it was brilliant. It was an interest that I loved. I'm not complaining about it.
Okay,
you understand what I'm saying?
Please just stop talking.
And Josiah Johnson imitating the dude singing and Coming to America was hilarious. Okay, because he sounded just like him. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Major props to them. But I digress. My point is, when you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and what this brother's bringing to the table, at least we can remind the audience of what this brother was last year when he was a top 2 league MVP candidate and he was my vote for MVP. We saw this brother in the postseason, and let us remind the audience why he's in OKC. Because Kawhi Leonard blackmailed the Los Angeles Clippers and said, you go out and you get Paul George at all costs. You understand? Otherwise, I'm going to the Lakers to join LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So the Clippers couldn't let that happen. They mortgaged their future, giving up all of these picks with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is why he's in OKC right now and looking absolutely fabulous. He shows up in the postseason last year, Molly. Big Perk knows this. Yeah. And this brother showed up. It's just that the young dudes did it with him. Jalen Williams, I'm not questioning this brother's talent at all. I love his game. I believe in the brother. He plays on both ends of the court, and he's an incredible talent. But he's got to bring that level of consistency as a bona fide number 2 option instead of vacillating back and forth between being it one night and deferring to Chet Holmgren the next. Chet Holmgren can be that number 2, as Big Perk has accurately pointed out, because Big Perk knows his basketball. But there's no denying that Chet Holmgren should not be the number 2 option. It should be consistently Jalen Williams. But because it isn't, I'm of the belief if Jalen Williams doesn't give you consistent production, OKC can't win. They can't beat Boston when it counts, even though they're 5-1. They swept the season series this year against Boston. They can't beat Boston without Jalen Williams being consistent. That's why you favor Boston, because you can't trust the others with Shai Gilgeous because of their youth and absence of experience. That's it.
For 29 points, Julius Randle added 25, and the Minnesota Timberwolves extended their winning streak to 6 games by routing the Denver Nuggets 115-95 on Wednesday night. The Wolves improved to 3-0 against the Nuggets this season. The last game between these two Northwest Division foes is April 1st in Denver. Julius Randle has been a major reason for the Timberwolves' success this season. Randle has won 11 straight games while starting each, and this season the Wolves are 33-21 with Randle and 5-8 without him, so clearly a difference maker. The Perk, there he is, back here with us. S.A., starting with you, how dangerous can Ant and this Wolves team be?
I think they can be very dangerous because any team that can defend, that has size, athleticism, and an absolute superstar in Ant-Man himself, my favorite player to watch in the league, let me tell you something right now, they can make some noise. We didn't say this weeks ago, Big Perk, because we didn't like what we were seeing. Obviously, they've been coming on strong, winning 11 straight since, with Julius Randle in the lineup, being on a 6-game winning streak. And let me say this, as a diehard Knicks fan, a native New Yorker, very, very happy with Karl Anthony Towns. That doesn't mean, Julius Randle, we don't miss you, my brother, because you're a Rough Rider. You're an Iron Man. It's rare when you miss games. You always bring the energy. You never, ever, ever cheat the game of basketball with your energy and your work ethic. And it's really, really good to see Minnesota thriving right now with Julius Randle playing a pivotal role. He deserves it, is what I'm saying. So on this stage, Perk, I just wanted to give him some love and give him some props for that. We do miss him in New York. Make no mistake about it, because he never cheated us with that effort. Having said all of that, they have him now in Minnesota. And when you look at Rudy Gobert, who returned after a 10-game absence, and what he brings from a defensive and rebounding standpoint, when you think about Ant-Man and the way they are in attack mode, let's not forget Naz Reid, forget what he brings to the table and what have you. You know, one of the things that I noticed, Perk, outside of their defense, not letting Denver score for the first 4 minutes of the game, Denver being in a hole early on, being down 14 at the end of the third quarter. You know what I really, really noticed? They were playing in the Mile High City, and it was the Denver Nuggets who was gasping for air. It wasn't Minnesota. It was Denver. Now, usually, Molly, when you're talking about that altitude,
Yeah.
What we're talking about when going to Denver, for crying out loud. I mean, people like Big Perk, my man Juvie, and others, they struggle in Denver. I mean, the air is thin. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They struggle to catch their breath.
Are taking shots today for no reason.
I mean, that's the one place Juvie hates to go, Molly. It's the one Big Perk. That's the one place Juvie hates to go because, damn it, Juvie. I mean, he's like that damn air is thin. He huffing and puffing. You know what I'm saying? I got a big bodyguard. But the point is that in Denver, it's usually the opposition.
Yeah.
Last night, it was Denver. Even Jokic playing 7. I mean, Mike Malone was desperately trying to win this game. He played Jokic for 17 straight minutes in the second half. 17 straight minutes. And that brother was huffing and puffing. But it wasn't Minnesota who was huffing and puffing. See, those are the kind of things that I'm looking at. As the playoffs approach, certain dudes are ascending. Their energy level is there, all right? Their veracity is there. That's the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, who are tied in a dead heat with the Golden State Warriors for the 6th spot. All this noise we've been making about Golden State, you really don't want to have to play the play-in before the first round of the playoffs arrive. You really want to avoid that. And now because of Minnesota, it might be Golden State on the outside looking in to the first round of the playoffs as opposed to the Timberwolves.
Look, Molly, Stephen A., I want y'all to cherish this moment, all right? Because it don't happen often, all right? When I come on national television on First Take and say that I was wrong about something because, 90% of the time I'm right. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was wrong early in the season. Early in the season, I said that the Minnesota Timberwolves were on the verge of making the worst trade in NBA history. That's because of the bad body language. Anthony Edwards complaining about the system, the offensive sets, the officials and all this, right? They got off to a rough start. Okay, I was wrong. They turned the book. They got back to their identity. They got back to their culture of defending at a high level. And it starts with Anthony Edwards. See, that's the thing that I love about guys like SGA, Ant-Man, Jason Tatum. Those guys actually play both sides of the floor, right? So when I look at the Minnesota Timberwolves and how impressive that win was last night, I'm saying to myself, hell, they got a higher ceiling than the Golden State Warriors. And I know the Golden State Warriors been balling with Jimmy Butler. He's giving Steph and Draymond new life, but they don't have any signature wins. They haven't beaten the OKC or Cavs or Nuggets or Lakers, Celtics. They haven't beat one of those top dogs, so I can't give them that yet. They're going to have a test on Monday on our network against the Nuggets. I want to see how that go. But I want to dive into something that Stephen A. brought up, and it was a great point. You said Jokic played how many straight minutes?
17 straight minutes last night. 17 straight in the second half.
And he looked gassed. He looked exhausted. He was tired, and rightfully so, because they lean on him more than probably any other player in the NBA, which takes me into another conversation. Mike Malone, when are you going to help him out as a coach? Have y'all ever seen those non-Jokic minutes and what that looked like? The reason, and it's like, damn, the man can't get a breather. Put a system in place, an offensive system in place that when Jokic goes out, that these guys could thrive and he could be able to rest. But I'm looking at it because Michael Malone have so many comments and he have so much to say about everything else and everybody else around the world, but he never holds himself accountable and what he doesn't do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, he's a damn good coach, and he's a champion. So let's get that out the way first. Put respect on his name. That's number one. Number two.
That don't mean you can't approve.
Stephen A., I need you to be quick here. Got to hit the top of the hour big time.
Got it. 17 straight minutes in the second half, Perk. That was last night. There's been plenty of other times he's tried to give him a breather, and then the team would nosedive because without him, cats ain't stepping up.
NBA on ESPN.